Hello, my Juicy Co-Creators. Lilou here. I'm in Paris, in beautiful Paris, with Sonia Choquette.
Yay! My favorite city with my favorite person right here.
And I think everybody watching my channel just know that I just love interviewing you, and they love you. We love you. We just really honor your spirit and what you represent and how much you do it with the heart and with genuineness, authenticity. You love shaking things up, waking our spirit. The last video we did, and if you haven't seen it, it was on manifesting with ease, and another one on intuition. We did that from London, and now we're in Paris because Sonia was in Paris, and we can't get enough. We want to share these tools with you as much as we can, because this is now that we can awaken our spirit, and this is now we can live in true abundance.
Well, that is one of my favorite topics. It's the only way to live, and anybody can live abundantly.
Yeah.
It's really, it begins with awareness.
Yeah.
There are three things you need to live abundantly: awareness, imagination, and gratitude. Those three things are it's sort of the magical formula. And the first is awareness, because there's so much available to us if we just, I call it, move out of your old neighborhood in your mind. You have to move to a new neighborhood and start noticing how wonderful life is wherever you are, how rich. Ask anybody who's dying. Ask anybody who knows that life is about to end how wonderful it is to be alive.
Yeah.
You know, you have nature, you have beauty, you have museums, you have people, you have food, you have smells, you have there's no lack of abundance, but there is lack of awareness of abundance.
Yes, and we separate ourselves from it. It's like, oh, this is not for me, this is maybe for that person, maybe that story is great, but it's not mine.
Well, first of all, and if you want to experience abundance, you yourself have to start being abundantly generous. You have to generate abundance in your giving nature, and that doesn't cost any money.
Yes.
That only takes energy and it's less draining. It demands less energy. It actually is a kind of energy that it's like the giver who keeps on giving keeps on receiving. So be abundantly kind. Be abundantly friendly. You know, and this is something I really wanted to talk about in abundance. I was with my daughter, and one of her friends from high school started a band. And would you believe, it's taking off, and it's really a surprise. And yet a lot of his friends were very negative and kind of wanted to rain on his parade and wanted to put him down. And we started noticing what a funky energy that is. And so we started noticing how much that is a conversation.
Yeah.
That people, rather than being abundantly happy for others, abundantly happy because anyone's success is our success, and we get to participate in the party of life instead of be resentful that there's a party and I'm not invited.
Yeah.
So be abundantly celebratory. Be happy for others. Be joyful for others. Be grateful for others, and be grateful for all you have now, and it'll keep coming. Unless you make that shift, life will be like window shopping. You'll see it over there, and you're locked out. The way to get into the abundant experience of life is start being abundantly a giver yourself. Of smiles, of appreciation, of congratulations, and gratitude.
And it comes to me, it feels like you know, I wrote this book, I had no money, and I liked it, and it truly started to happen when I started to see abundance. Was from the moment that I started to live with an open heart. And then it was everywhere, and I noticed it was because I had a closed heart before, and I was afraid to let it in, that I couldn't feel the natural abundance. And it feels. Do you see it's totally related too?
Absolutely related, because if you want an abundant life, the key to get into that world, to get into that experience, is to open your heart. And it's in your hand.
Yeah.
You get to decide. You get to decide that I am actually going to enjoy life, take joy in the life I have now, and be very loving to myself and to others. And it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal to live an abundant life. It's a change of attitude.
Yeah.
It's a change of heart.
Yes.
It's to stop shutting yourself off.
Yes.
And really take joy in the world that you're living in. Just take joy and enjoy it in whatever way you can. So it's moving out of that old neighborhood in your mind, that dark, angry place, that dark negative energy, that neighborhood of old thoughts, and start. And it really involves surrendering control, and stop being angry that you can't control everybody.
Yeah. And I feel that it's stop thinking that it's going to come from a certain way, it's going to appear in a certain form. Stop wanting to control the flow.
Exactly, because what you know is not all there is to know, and your way is not necessarily the best way. So and this is a way to begin to experience an open heart and be more abundant today. My mother used to say this to me, and I have 6 brothers and sisters, and she would send us out the door every morning saying, expect good things, and I expect to hear about it at the end of the day. And so, because we were so many of us, we wanted to see who had the best thing to say, who had the best experience, who had the best surprise, and it created a state of mind that I expect good things. And I expect them to be wonderful, and I expect to talk about them and share them. And that state of mind has created the most miraculously abundant life I could have ever imagined. My life is rich in ways that I'm humbled, but I'm not shy to say.
Yeah.
I am humbled every day at how incredibly juicy, and that's a good word because that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And it starts with expecting good things and expecting to share that good conversation, that good news with others.
And it doesn't make you less spiritual. Far from it.
No, in fact, that is actually part of that old suffering, that somehow good things are that you've sort of sold out your spiritual self if your life is materially rich, and if you're enjoying the sensuality of life. And that really is that old severity of the angry father god patriarchy. And thank God, the age of that energy is over. We are in the garden of life, the divine mother, the richness, the abundant, where she puts you in her lap and wants you to enjoy everything that is here. And our real mother is the divine earth. The nature is so beautiful.
And we're that much more, I feel, generous to it. And then there is no more holding back to others. There is just, then it helps so many more people when we don't hold it in and being in scarcity.
Well, it's infectious. And one of the things that I said of the 3 tools, awareness of how abundantly blessed you are. The second is imagination.
Yeah.
Start using your imagination and imagine beautiful good things for yourself and others, not just for yourself. Yeah. Imagine, I love to imagine for the people I love that they have the most wonderful day and the most wonderful blessings and the most wonderful, and I tell them all the time, I'm going to imagine for you beautiful surprises, wonderful things, because then I'm not just working with my own separate energy. I get to be in the flow of quantum energy, the divine sea of possibility. So can you imagine a beautiful day? Can you imagine? And if you can't, then you need to change the channel and maybe go to an art museum, or you don't have to go to anywhere but the internet and just pull up beautiful images. and see and fill your mind with beautiful, abundant images. Seas of flowers and the ocean and schools of fish and fruit on trees and gorgeous smells of perfumes and fabrics and textures and spices and color and flavor, and use your senses that way.
Yeah.
Fill your senses up with richness of an explosion of banquets of sight and smell and sound and taste and color, and move out of that dark neighborhood where nothing's happening in your mind.
How am I going to pay the bills? How is this going to happen? We're survival.
And survival is a lack of imagination. My mother grew up in World War II. They lived on she found one of the ways she lived was she would go after the war when she said nobody had anything, and she said it was one of my most favorite times because everybody was an instant entrepreneur and everybody was abundantly creative. She would gather cigarette butts and put them together, and she would learn how to roll them, and she could sell a cigarette for 2 potatoes. You know, if your life is lacking, use your imagination and wonder. This is a favorite tool of mine. I've shared it with you before. Wonder. I wonder. And let your spirit wonder. I wonder what good thing is going to help me pay my bills today. I wonder what creative thing I can do that will help me pay my bills today. I wonder what I can release attachment to so I open up for something new. I wonder if I can let a bunch of things I think I need go so that I can be surprised with better experiences. There's always a solution, and that's part of your abundant imagination. There's always a solution, and I wonder what it is. Just even put yourself in a state of expectation of good things.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sonia. I really feel this is such a magnificent, beautiful piece to just hold in our heart and know that if we're in the wandering state, just things can unfold and life can surprise us.
And be grateful for all that you have and all the people in your life. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for Juicy TV. I mean, people get what I had to go to with really struggle to learn when I was a student and growing into this consciousness. You make available to so many people with the flick of a switch. This is abundance for people.
This is abundance. You're living in abundance. That's so true.
Yes, to be able to sit with us in Paris and have this conversation, and you don't even have to go out the front door. That's abundant. And when you think that way, it keeps coming. When you open your heart and you put your attention to that, it never ends.
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you so much.
All my love to you and you.
Where are you off to now?
I will be leaving to Turkey. I'm leaving in 2 days to go, and who knew? But I'm going, and I'm so excited, and it's such a new and rich experience. So,
Teaching a workshop?
I will be teaching a small group there, a small workshop, and having a visit with my beautiful daughter.
Oh, Sonia.
Yes, Sonia.
I loved interviewing Sonia and meeting her.
Oh, she loved it. And the whole experience of being part of your juicy world is abundance for us. So we love you and thank you.
Thank you, Sonia. And we send you much love and much abundance from beautiful Paris. Bye, my abundant co-creator. another one on intuition. We did that from London, and now we're in Paris because Sonia was in Paris, and we can't get enough. We want to share these tools with you as much as we can, because this is now that we can awaken our spirit, and this is now we can live in true abundance.
Well, that is one of my favorite topics. It's the only way to live, and anybody can live abundantly.
Yeah.
It's really, it begins with awareness.
Yeah.
There are three things you need to live abundantly: awareness, imagination, and gratitude. Those three things are it's sort of the magical formula. And the first is awareness, because there's so much available to us if we just, I call it, move out of your old neighborhood in your mind. You have to move to a new neighborhood and start noticing how wonderful life is wherever you are, how rich. Ask anybody who's dying. Ask anybody who knows that life is about to end.
Hello, here I'm in Paris, in beautiful Paris, with Sonia Choquette.
Yay! My favorite city with my favorite person right here.
And I think everybody watching my channel just know that I just love interviewing you, and they love you. We love you. We just really honor your spirit and what you represent, and how much you do it with the heart and with genuineness, authenticity. You love shaking things up, waking our spirit. The last video we did, and if you haven't seen it, it was on manifesting with ease, and then my juicy co-creators.
How wonderful it is to be alive.
Yeah.
You know, you have nature, you have beauty, you have museums, you have people, you have food, you have smells, you have there's no lack of abundance, but there is lack of awareness of abundance.
Yes, and we separate ourselves from it. It's like, oh, this is not for me, this is maybe for that person, maybe that story is great, but it's not mine.
Well, first of all, and if you want to experience abundance, you yourself